Welcome to Crow Tribe Conversation, episode 004, with my good friend Anthony Upchurch. Anthony is one of the members of North Lake Washington Business Connection, and as he's one of the people that what we try to bring people have a more, a deeper level of thinking and feeling and perception, and that's one of the reasons we want to have the conversation about what it's like to be Anthony and what you bring to the table. So, and we got about 10 minutes or so of conversation, but
for now,
if we go long, we'll squish it up and do stuff. So I like to, as I did with Maria in the other episode, which might have been 3 minutes ago, could be 3 months ago, and I just happened to be wearing the same shirt. Who knows? But what's an Anthonyism?
Anthonyism.
Yeah.
Those that get to know me know there's two things that will be involved: food and fun. I enjoy laughing. Mm-hmm. And of course, I enjoy food. A good friend of mine, Andrew, a little quick story. He sent me a text and said, I have an idea. My response was, I'll drive. I like because he and I both resonate with food. I mean, that's one of the good things I love about the Northwest. Is like you have so many different cuisines up here that I can really, any given day of the week, I can switch it up and experience a whole different culture, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the reason why a lot of relationships have been built around food and at the table. And so he sent me a text that I have an idea. He said, "What do you think about a food palooza?" I said, "I don't know what it is."
Well, let's go.
But I'm getting
Okay.
We literally hit 13 restaurants in one day.
Wait, this is not a professional thing. This is just you and Andrew. We got to go get their grub and get some things out. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Carry on. Food palooza.
Yeah. So we hit 13 rrestaurants in one day.
What?
It was epic.
You're a slim dude. How do you eat like that? Or you have like, what do they call, what is that called when you have a little
tapeworm?
Okay, that a tasting menu when they have like a little snack. Anyways, that's
appetizer. Yeah. No. We
13.
We hit 13 spots in one day. I'm looking forward to the second episode of that.
This is a gastronomical danger. I would not recommend 13 episodes to anybody listening. So it's all right.
You gotta come prepared. But that's one of the good things about having true relationships. Simply because you could change professions, but hopefully you won't change your personality. So if my relationship is based off of who you are, not what you do, It doesn't matter what you end up doing because I can still refer you because I know you. I don't know you as your occupation. I know you as a person. Totally different conversation.
You've hit on something I've mentioned in North Lake Washington Business Connection, that it's the individual, not your title doesn't define why you're part of us. So I appreciate what you're saying.
Thanks.
And so when you talk about the way you talked about food, got me to wonder, where's back home? And for you, did you grow up here or what's
I come from a place where we were raised on two food groups, and that's deep fried and barbecue.
All right. What else is there? Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
was that here in the Northwest or where?
No, that's in Arkansas.
Arkansas. All right.
Yeah.
So do people in Arkansas like it when somebody says Arkansas, or is that disrespectful?
No, they just know you're not.
Yeah, I'm not from here. Yeah,
you're visiting. Yeah.
Arkansas.
Just like when they say "bless your heart," it's not a compliment.
Yeah. They don't really care. You can die, but bless your heart. So, Arkansas. All right. So I've been through Arkansas, but it was in the back of a '66 Dodge in the third grade, so I know nothing about it. So
yeah,
my dad was driving, so it wasn't a trap or anything. So anyway, go.
The one thing I miss about the South is the realness, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You knew what you were getting. Nowadays, because of unfortunately all the screens, you don't know who's genuine or not. It could be a backdrop of an ocean, and there's some alley in Chicago. You wouldn't know because of virtual backgrounds now. But in the South, they don't like you. You know where you stand. If they like you,
you don't have to wonder. Huh? Yeah.
Exactly. If they like you, you're getting another invite over to the house. And so it's kind of that thing where your family, blood or not. We have a saying when I was coming up in school, it's like, "Oh, that's my play cousin."
Oh, I like that.
And it's like, "Oh, how do you know him?" "Oh, that's my play cousin." Because we grew up together. Like my buddy Tab, we went into the military together.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, we talked, 2 days ago, and we're just dying laughing through text.
Still, yeah.
It's like we just press pause on our conversation. We pick right back up. Those type of relationships, they just echo. They echo through generations. Like I work with people and I start to learn their love language. Even though I work with a group of men, every person has their own love language. So if their love language is words of affirmation, but I'm buying them stuff like, hey, let me buy you lunch. Oh, no, I'm good. I'm like, why you don't accept my gift? Because that's not his love language.
Gifts is not his thing.
No, but if I say, man, you killed it on that last project. Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, let's get together. Let's have lunch and talk about it.
I wish they taught love languages when I was in the 3rd grade, because I didn't get that concept till I'm an old man, and I was a middle-aged man when that was so helpful to know that.
Yeah.
So it's a great example. I didn't think to apply that to just the regular world, but that's a great example. So, we could talk a lot about that stuff. I do want to give folks a sense of what you do for a living, because we're all in businesses. We want to grow and invite others into our professional world. Let's take a second, and so we can, let me get my technology going here. Here we can. So this is the model for Anthony's business. And what does that mean? If you don't know your rights, you don't have any. What are we talking about?
There's different tiers to it.
What is it? I mean, so I was just going to give you the chance to talk about what is it? What is that you do here? What are we talking about in this mantra?
LegalShield. And I kind of formulate that into being an advocate. A lot of times we don't know what we don't know, and we find out after we've made the decision. A lot of times our decisions is based off of our account, our bank account, our balance.
Okay.
And so if you don't have the necessary information to make a solid decision, now you're doing trial and error, where you're in a situation and then you say, now that I know what I know, I'm going to do that or approach that differently. Well, what if you were able to have a resource where you didn't have to guess? You could reach out to somebody and it's like, hey, I have this situation. What are my rights in this situation? And get an answer real time instead of jumping on Google or talking to your auntie or your barber. Like, hey, I got this situation. Like, well, when I was in that situation, because now you're taking on somebody else's lifestyle.
So just to be clear, you're talking about an attorney, a legal advice. Yeah, that's what you mean. Not just calling our friends. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, what's your path? How did that become something why LegalShield versus other kinds of entrepreneurship?
For me, it started because I'm a dad and I had teenage drivers. And
that's a scary thought, right?
Exactly.
As a dad, right?
My thing is, even before all the stuff that we see in social media and stuff going on now, I had to be forward thinking as a father. Like, as most men, we're hunters. So we go out, we assess any type of any type of dangerous threats that can cause harm to our household. We either neutralize it, modify it, or we get rid of it. And since I knew I couldn't be in every place at every time, I needed a resource that would help me accomplish that. And so in the case of an emergency and I'm in a meeting and I can't get to my child, how can I set my child up to be successful? And that was one of the things that LegalShield offered, because if they got into an accident, they could hit an emergency button in the app and be speaking to an attorney so they could tell them at the scene of an accident what to say and what not to say. And so that's where my thinking started in my conversation. But then it evolved. Well, what about at the job? Well, what about, I get mistreated, when I do a transaction with a business, how do I handle that? And now as a business owner, if I get a bad review, how am I going to handle this? Because as you being a business owner, your time is very valuable.
Yeah.
So would you rather spend half of your day generating revenue or spending half of your day online or calling people to try to figure out how you can save your business? But I'm like, that's very beneficial for me as well. And so it just made sense. And she was like, and you can be compensated for helping other people. So if you see the benefit, you can also get compensated for helping others. And I was like, if I can bring value to another person and increase my income, let's see what the limitations truly are.
You guys want to bring value to somebody else and increase your income, I know a guy to talk to. All right. We could go on and on and on. The plan of these interviews is to make it about 10 minutes or so, because we're going to do more of this. But one of the things I do want to give folks, the theme that I have is what's the one thing, what's the one habit? But if not a habit, what is one thing? And tell these folks, what is one thing you want people to know about you?
When we meet, just know I'm very intentional. My sole purpose is to add value. Any opportunity I do, even though we've discussed today that who I represent is LegalShield and ID Shield. The biggest thing is that I tell people I connect people to solutions. That's my biggest drive that gets me out of bed every day. So if anybody asks, when they mention my name, that's how I want to be remembered, is that I'm very intentional. There's no fluff, like I mentioned earlier, and I want to know how can I serve you and those that you know, love, and trust. Thank you for your time and attention.
Wow, this guy is crispy, man. I mean that in a good way. So, hey, I appreciate your time.
Thanks,
To
bro.
be continued.
Absolutely.
See you at the next episode.